We're on.
Hey, Dad.
Good morning, son, or whatever it is.
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
Okay, so we're late June. The doomsday clock has... Oh, no, the doomsday clock has broken. We don't know what time it is. But Oshkosh is kind of like happening right now. So, yeah, we're not going to make that. I had to take almost 6 months off and work. So,
well, you got to make money to make the airplane.
Make money. This is not like VC funded startup. Okay, so last couple of weeks have made 4 molds. This one is for the left and right rudder skins. So this is a split rudder. Okay, some other dudes doing split rudders, but we're doing it for exactly the same reason they are. First, it simplifies the rudder cable management. Okay, you don't have to have a crossover to where this happens. And second, you can use them as air brakes. Okay, so right rudder, left rudder, push them both, air brakes. Simplifies all of that.
Most rudders just go left or right, right? And yours splits in the middle?
Right. That's right, yeah. And then they, and something, a jet would have air brakes of its own. But this is an elegant way to get both for
cool. Yeah.
Right. So what's going on here is that these are the skins. I built up the patterns over the last couple of months. I laid up these molds last week. These addendums go on the end, and they create a return joggle. Okay, I'll lay up all the way into here and create a return. Then these pop off. Okay. And then that creates a flange on the bottom that has a return. So I don't have to do any sort of secondary work. There'll be a reinforcement here. Let me get the drawing. I also took some time and drafted everything out. Did the lamination sequences. And I just keep the first drafts in the book. So, get to this in a sec. This is that part. Okay, so this part of the airplane is the vertical stabilizer. All right. These are the rudders and rudder skins. So there's this. This is a reinforcement in unidirectional material and an extra foam core on top of the foam core in order to resolve this. It's being actuated down here by a push-pull cable on both sides. So that's going to put a lot of cross torque on this. So all of these are this is going to be glass as opposed to carbon. This entire section is going to be fiberglass. And the reason I'm going in fiberglass on this is that I'm going to put all of the antennas inside, and it has to be electrically transparent. And that includes the spar. So this is a subassembly drawing of that, and the spar is going to get bonded into this part, and the skins of the vertical stabilizer are going to bolt on through this flange and then to the rear of the spar. That way this comes off as a piece. That's this mold right here, Dad. So this is the vertical stabilizer mold, the fin. All right, I'm going to lay this up as one part. It's going to be...
Get over here.
You got it, Dad? Just pin that down. There you go. So, I had to do a little bit of repair here. I still have some body work to do. This gel coat sucks. I'm never using it again. So
that's a brand that you're not going to use. Basically,
I'm not going to do epoxy gel coat again. That's why these don't have any gel coat on them. I'd rather deal with whatever pinholes I have, just with one screed of pure resin, rather than deal with all the problems of this gel coat.
So cleaning off gel coat, as far as the procedure goes, is worse than not having gel coat, or what?
For me, making the molds, epoxy gel coats are different than polyester gel coat. Polyester gel coat goes down pretty easy. This does not. It's very thick. It traps air. It causes at least as many problems as it solves. Anyway, I will lay this up as one piece. I'll lap the plies on the leading edge. It's going to be 2 core 2 plus an extra rib in the middle. The rib is going to be just 3/8 inch Divinicel core. I call it a false rib. It's a way to create some stiffness without actually having to make a rib, make a mold, make a rib. And it allows antenna work to come all the way up and go from the base to the top. And then this just bolts on, right?
Excuse me a minute. I'm still stuck on gel coat. What's the purpose of gel coat if you're not using it? I mean,
gel coat is supposed to give you a really fine finish, and without.
Does it help separate the molds or help release? Is it a release agent?
This doesn't have a gel coat. This is just the raw glass and resin,
which looks good to me,
and it's pretty good. Okay, but this red stuff is gel coat, and we can look at it here, Deb. This is a perfect way to get to that. So this is a gel coated surface. This one came out okay. All right, so it picks up whatever surface value you have built into your plug, and if it's done correctly, and some of this is operator error, it shouldn't require any extra. It shouldn't
sanding
have
or anything, any extra labor.
But my experience with this over the years is that that's never the case, especially with the kind of molds that I lay up. Okay, everything, I've got really hard corners and tight places, and it just never works out to where I don't have to touch it. I've always had to touch it.
Overall, you're happier not using the gel coat.
Overall, I'm happier just taking my chances not using the gel coat. So these are ungel coated. I have to get in here, and I had a little bit of a mold release failure. That's what this black is. That just picked up the lacquer. I'd use lacquer paints to build up the molds because they're cheap, and I can just spray them down and they dry. But I didn't really do too much to the MDF underneath it. Sometimes it'll grab through there and grab that MDF. So I have a little bit extra work to do. Normally, if you're going to use an MDF tool, seal it.
NBS, explain that again.
MDF, medium density fiberboard.
Okay.
It's just it's a very handy thing to have around the shop. Most people in construction know what MDF is.
But yeah, we're not all.
This is a piece of
MVS.
MDF baseboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I used this to make flanges because it's easy. But this stuff leaves a very nice surface. But I didn't seal this. I got a little lazy, and I'm paying for it right now.
Yeah. Okay.
If you seal this with epoxy, and then just it'll clean release almost every time. But I got a little lazy, so I have to pay for my laziness. So this joggle creates so this is the way to, so here's the part. We're looking at the negative portion of this right now, down in here. So right here is right here. That's in the back over there. And this part is this. Okay, and this joggle sits down below the fair line, and this picks up. This is a flange for the engine covers, which is next on the bill of materials that I got to do. I'm working my way from back to front on the fuselage right now. So there are pieces that go onto here on both sides. And this flange does two things. It structurally stiffens all of this and kind of closes this out without actually closing it out, because I need to be able to access all of this. And it also creates a flange without having to do any rework. Okay, so that's what's going on here. That's what this addendum's about. I will bag over the top of this, and then I will push up into the bag. It'll be a mess, but it'll work. Get in here with a stick and push into these corners and make sure that I'm pushed into all of these.
Try to have total contact with that bag. No bubble at all.
No bubbles.
Can
no
you?
Spanners.
What happens if
it creates a little void that you got to go back and deal with.
Okay.
It's not always fatal. Sometimes it's fatal.
Yeah.
But generally, no. It'll
Yeah.
create a spanner or something inside. You know.
Is it possible to get a bag in there and not have it fold up on it and not have it have a void?
It's chancy, but yes. And what I might do is make what's called a call plate. CAUL. What it does is I pour some rubber in here.
Okay.
Okay, and then this will be laminated by itself. I'll put like 6 plies of carbon up through here and let it sit. And then you can put a call plate in here that provides the pressure to get in here, and that makes getting in there with a bag a lot easier.
It's like a tool that helps seal it to.
It's a tool that it's like another piece of tooling that pushes.
Like keeping your hand in there.
That's exactly right. It's called a call plate.
Okay.
I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to try and do it the old-fashioned way, just try and get it. But I may end up making
It just seems like down in that deep hole.
It's painful.
To make sure it doesn't have a void, it'd be tough. Yeah.
This is a pain in the butt part, but it's less of a pain in the butt because it's all done. Okay?
Yeah.
Once it comes
Well, that's
out,
true.
it's done.
You
right?
could do it again if you had to. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
This is the hard part here.
yeah, this is the hard part. I'm trying to do the hard part in the tool where I have complete control.
Yeah.
So then this is the bulkhead location for the front bulkhead. So this is the bulkhead right here, and that is tooled in right here. Okay, and that plus the back is what accepts this. So that bolts onto the front flange of this, and it bolts in with this 3/8 bolt on the back, top and bottom, and that's the attachment.
Goes into there.
Yeah, right here.
Right there. Yeah.
Right here. With the bulkhead, this bulkhead.
Right.
This bulkhead goes in roughly like that. Okay, and that bonds in. And I'm going to do all the bonding up before this comes out of the mold.
Okay.
Okay, so those are the 2 big ones moving forward. I had to drop back and fix the horizontal stabilizers. Because if you saw it, last year we had some tooling problems. I had over-sanded and miscontoured this mold, the other version of this mold, and that mold had leaky gel coat. Okay, and so I just decided I was just going to bite the bullet and remake both of the molds and recontour everything and get everything templated back out. This should be a flat, and this is a taper. Right, so flat, taper, but how I made it before is it's just tapered all the way from here to here, and it's wrong. It's just off model, and so I had to correct it, make a new one, and I went without the gel coat, and I have a little bit of rework to do here. This is all flocks. I have to rebuild some of this flocks. Got to do a little bit of that. This one is pretty good, but what I'm doing here is prepping it so that I can make an addendum that goes from here to here that creates a joggle. Right, creates an under joggle so that the other part lays on top of it like this.
Well, that makes sense to you, but to us.
So I can bond the top to the bottom.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Put glue on this.
Oh, it
part.
gives you a little more to bond to.
Yeah, it gives me a bonding flange.
Yeah, okay.
Bond them top.
Okay, that makes sense now.
And it has to have enough shape so that it goes underneath the other material.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what this is about. I set this back
For
just a little
strength,
bit.
basically.
Yes, for strength. Okay, and I'm just using the part because it's a easy way to do it. Rick built these for us. These go on in the secondary process so that we can clamp to them.
Okay.
And get everything, all of these ribs in exactly to place. I recontoured the spar. So I cut all of this back because back here I was capturing almost a pound of glue. And it wasn't doing anything for us. It wasn't doing anything structurally for us. It was just adding weight. So in order to address the weight issue with these, I feel like I'm a pound or more overweight. I can save, I believe, what is almost a pound because this rear did not really fit very well. It fit precisely up front, but it didn't fit in the back. So I will have less glue, and then I'll probably apply. I have to go back and do beam calculations on this, make sure I have enough strength. But this is aft of CG. CG is about right here. the pivot point is right here, and then that will lessen the amount of counterweight we need up here. We have a pound right now. I think we can probably go with a half pound or less. And so that should at least, I'll probably be able to save a pound to a pound and a half.
Well, like I said before we were filming, you don't ordinarily think of the weight of glue when we fix something and glue something, so it is a factor. Huh? It can weigh.
It's a way you don't ever think about it, but it added a pound to this.
Wow.
Okay? That's
in a critical area.
As one of the other YouTubers would say, it's a shameful amount of glue.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have that much of a glue penalty.
Yeah.
This didn't fit well enough. Bottom line, I took this and I straightened everything out instead of trying to exactly follow the contour. And that was a compromise I made years ago. Again, paying for it now, but this will work just fine. These I'm just going to remake. We already iterated on these twice. They're going to be really good. I'm happy with the fit of all of that. And then over here, if you stand right there. These are already iterated. These are the molds for the horizontal stabilizer. I'm pretty.
Seems to me like we covered those, didn't we?
We did. We don't have to go through that.
No, I just mean
those are stable. They work really well. This is a mold for the rib that goes into the vertical stabilizer at the base, and we'll cut all of this out so that you can get up there and service things. But this is a way to stiffen that area up and keep it from torquing. It's going to be bolted to the fan housing, which in itself is a torque box, but this helps stabilize all of that and resists the bending, the local bending that it's going to be under when this comes under torque. So when that comes under torque, it will try and bend that part. It'll try and bend it sideways. So I have to put material in and structure to resist that bending. And then this is the vertical stabilizer mold. So I cut one of my my rejects of these things off because this is the interface with the rear of the fan casing, and then there'll be lamination in here, and it goes up over the top and grabs this, and then the pin interface right here will lock everything in place, and then it will bolt into these right here. It'll go through this pinhole and bolt through here. And then this is the vertical stabilizer. So this comes apart in 3 pieces. It's got the back sheet on it, this molded part, and then this addendum here to make all of those features. So that's several months of work. There's a lot of work here, and I'm hoping that I can start laying up maybe tomorrow and Saturday. If I can get a couple of these done and I can be done by next week, I'll be happy. I would like to have the fuselage. I mean, I'm not going to have a whole airplane here this week. That's just not happening. But I might be able to have a fuselage by August. I would really love to be able to have something I can sit in. The next moves are starting to work on the big pieces of the fuselage. And the last thing I'll do this summer is the fuselage proper. Unless I have to go back to work.
The hell's it?
Yeah, unless I have to go back to work. All right, that's about it, Dad.
Several bags later. Okay, looks very good. Got one little spot here where the fibers deviated a little bit, but I can live with that. And it's nice and light. Flange came out nice. Has the rebate. Surfaces are as good as the mold is. These are the ones I had to correct because I over sanded. Fire orientation's nice. Can live with it. It's nice and straight. Okay. I put too much wax down here on the flange and it leaked a little bit, so I'll address that. I'll sand this out a little bit, make sure I get better contact with the bag seal tape, and then that should solve the pressure issue. I want to be able to pull a full hermetic vacuum, but it's hard when the surface looks like this, so I'll just touch that up. I got one more set of these to make, but today's lamination is this one, which is the the split rudder. Both sides of the split rudder is one mold. I'll jump back into this one on Monday. This is all ready. This is the center spine. This is the addendum to the center spine. And if my stretch goal, depending on how the bags go, will be the vertical stabilizer. Basically, I'm back into parts every day mode, so this one is next. Alright, split rudder molds are ready. They have 4 coats of wax and 1 coat of PVA on them. All of the prep is done. It is 12:30. We'll just time this, see how long it takes to get everything in. Okay, it's 3 o'clock. Time out to the bag, I believe, is 2.5 hours. We're holding about 22 inches of mercury. It's about all I've been able to get the last couple of days. Probably a couple of little pinhole leaks somewhere on this edge flange, but generally speaking, I'm pretty pleased. I have all of these flanges, all those return flanges are in. This is the reinforcing subspar, if you will. Okay, there's unidirectional material here. It's all glass. This is a radio transparent piece because we're going to embed all the antennas in the vertical stabilizer. Okay, that's good. This is both sides of the rudder, so the split rudder, and it all kind of went to plan. I wish I had just a little bit better vacuum, but I'll take it. 4 days later. No, not quite. So, looks like it came out quite well. The reinforcements are there. And the flanges are a little messy, but they're about what I expected. They were kind of a bonus round sort of deal anyway. I just wanted to have a nice return. I'm probably going to cut this down to about 1/4 inch. I didn't get real great compression in here, but it was going to be nearly impossible to do it all the way around. A little bit of bonded bleeder, no big deal. I'll take it off. What really matters is this. Very nice registration. Part lines are in it. Good registration on the outside. Got a little bit of a spanner there. Very nice part. Doesn't weigh much. Stiff where it counts. We'll trim it up and we'll see. Next one today is all of this. See you in about 6 hours. Six hours later. Tunnel to hell. Marginal bag. We got what we got. See what we have in the morning. 4 hours later. This is exactly the unholy mess that you would imagine it to be. I am so sticky. My arms are going to puff up like balloons because, newsflash, I'm actually allergic to this stuff. Yeah, this is where I question my life choices and how hard I want to make this in order to save a few hours on the back end of it. Yeah. Bridge too far. Okay. That's the vertical stabilizer. It's okay. This whiteness here is dry scrim. It is not dry glass. It is the dry scrim on the back of the Divina matte foam. This means I didn't get a great compression, and I put these in dry. I have been putting some in dry simply because there's so much resin in the system that it pulls it up through, but this is indicative of not getting quite enough compression at a time when the resin was still kicking off. That is why speed matters. I am not certain this is a fail. The surface is really good. There is no dry glass anywhere on it. It's just the back of the scrim, and there is resin transfer all the way up through the layers. So this is Divina matte, and it has this scrim back, and then it has it's scored so that it turns corners a little easier. And there's evidence of resin transfer all the way up. So I'm not sure I'm going to fail this part, but we'll see. Right now, I got to move on. So I'm getting onto spars and some smaller parts. This was a bitch, and I don't think, as hard as this was, it is worth capturing all of this as one part. I mean, it's trick, but there's a limit to the practicality of integrated co-cured design, and I have about reached it. If I can think myself a little bit better way to make this and spare my forearms from getting soaked in resin, despite my best efforts and 3 bunny suits, I will. Same thing with this. This part, the juice is not worth the squeeze here. I frankly don't need any of this. What I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to simply cut from here to here and allow this to be open. That way I don't have to bag through here. I can allow that bag to come outside, come out, and then come down in and fold in, and then I have more options in terms of getting to it. And I believe that I will do this and pre-bag it and get it B-stage, do this portion of it and get it B-stage, strip everything off, and then bond them while they're still chemically active, but I may not have to bag it. That's probably a much more rational approach to this. That way I get a co-cured part. I'm guaranteed all of the compression that I need, and I don't have to risk this area right here coming out the way that it did, because it's pretty ugly. Anyway, I've got some small parts to make now. I've got the spars, and then I've got to make another set of these wing skins that came out really nice. Or these are the tail skins. And then I'm dragging down from the loft the first really big parts, and those are the engine compartment covers. And those are actually relatively straightforward, he said. Yeah, we'll see how straightforward they actually were. Okay, vertical stabilizer coming in hot. Vertical stabilizer spar. This is all the prep. This is all the unidirectional material. Full length unidirectional material. These are mid-span unis. These are bids, and they go over the top of this like that. And this is the interface to the rear of the fuselage. This is this part right here. This one's not bonded, but yeah, it'll go right there. I am not a complete cowboy. I did draft this. So I'm gonna do something a little like this. So I've already edited it. I switched out one of my bids for 2 cross plies of uni. It's structurally better, and I was frankly running out of uni, or running out of bid. So anyway, I think this will take me 2 hours. We'll see. Best laid plans of mice and men. 2 hours and 43 minutes later. This garbage bagging thing works really well. Getting a full vacuum. Getting really nice compression into the corners. This is my full laminate. This is the addendum to the mold that picks up the feature on the back of the fan casing. The bolt goes through here. I'll just drill that out, use it as an index hole. This really doesn't carry the structure. The structure is 3 bolts through here, 1/4-inch bolts, and there's about 25 plies of material down in this area to pick that load up, and then there's dropping plies to here, and then there's full-length plies. So it's a proper little spar, and we'll see how it comes out tomorrow. Okay, this is the aft root rib for the vertical stabilizer. Straightforward, it's just 4 plies of carbon. It goes right in here. It looks like that. Real straightforward, just 4 plies. Took about an hour, maybe less. Yeah. Bag looks good. We'll see you in the morning. Well, that's the vertical stabilizer spar and skin. Roughly mated together. It needs to be trimmed a little bit more, fettled a little bit. But it all seems to fit. Spar came out nice. Took a long time to debag, but it has a lot of molded in features to it. That took some time, but it looks good. I believe it will fly just fine. And the rest of this day is going to be cleaning up and then doing another set of skins, because I'm just right now I'm just playing catch up. The rest of this week's going to be catch up. Okay, second set of tail skins, just ready to close up for documentation purposes. Okay, second set of tail skins, just ready to close up for documentation purposes. Okay, that's game. About 25 inches, that's about all I can expect on a day like today, where it's like 90 degrees. We're at 7,000 feet to begin with. Okay, tomorrow. Okay, let's try this again. I'm trying a little different strategy this time. I'm simply going to lay up all the way to here on top of this plastic, and then I'm going to add my addendums and then fold this back and do it all as one piece instead of trying to lay up the addendum separately. And I was thinking I'd go to 2 bags. I was thinking I'd do a lot of things, but what I did was remove a large chunk of this lip. I brought this lip down to the minimum viable lip that I need to interface with the to create the flange for the engine compartment covers. So this took 6 hours last time. I'm thinking I can do this in 4 hours. Okay, 3 hours, 16 minutes later. 3 hours, 16 minutes later. It's good. It worked quite well. I did not lose control of it. I'm getting some good resin transfer. So to fix this, this gives me access to get in here and push all of this and get this return flange in the bag. I probably still need to do a little bit of pushing in these areas. It looks like I might have some folded plies there, but there's almost nothing I can do about it now. This is kind of a give me. This is kind of a would like to have this flange, turn this corner. I might work this, see if I can get that to lay down. I would rather not have all of these plies stacked up like that. So I'll probably keep working this. I'm going to keep working under here and getting good resin transfer. I am pleased. 3 hours, 15 minutes. Okay, little folded plies in here. I'm just going to fill it and live with it. This all came in good. This flange needs to be rebuilt. I'll put the addendum back on the mold and laminate this back into place, and Bob's your uncle. This goes in here. I've got to trim these flanges back. This is the rib that goes in there. A little fettling, a little trim, a little this and that, and this all ought to go in pretty nicely. Close out this entire structure. Next up, engine covers and rear wheel fairings.